Well, hello there. It's Jacqueline here with a cooking class. And surprise, I actually found the right spot this time. Last week, if you were trying to find me, I decided to sneak into a group I no longer even go to. So anyway, I appreciate that you're still coming to watch me on my cooking class today. Anyway, today, what we're going to do is, I thought because Easter's just around the corner, I would do something that was really super tasty, but really spoke spring. So we'll just wait for a minute here while we get some people on. If you're coming on to this, make sure you post that you're here so I know we can get started. All right, so we've got a couple people in already. Great. Hi, where are you coming in from? Are you excited for the cooking class today? It's all about spring. I think we're ready to shed our, hey Faye, we're ready to shed our winter woolies and start really thinking about Easter and summer and warmer weather, and today's cooking class is all about that. So first off, when I think about spring, one of the things I think of is peas and asparagus. So today we're actually going to be cooking some asparagus today because I'm going to be making something really special, something you've probably never made before. Hope you're excited about this, but it will have asparagus in there. Now these, you know, it's the beginning of the season because look at how teeny tiny these are. So anyway, what I've got is I've got them in our little rectangular steamer. I'm not adding any extra water or anything. There's enough moisture in there. What I have done is I've snapped off the ends because they were a little dried out at the store, of course, because they're very tender. I'm gonna put a lid on it and we're just gonna throw it in the microwave because I've only got a few in here. I'm saving the rest for a dinner. I'm just gonna put them in for maybe about 3 minutes. Hey Ann, hey Jill, nice to see you guys. All right. So we've got those in the microwave. What we're going to do is we're going to make, are you ready for this? Not a butter board, but how about a bean board? Yes, we're going to call it a garden bean pesto board, or a garden pesto board. And what that means is we're going to, instead of using butter boards, how many of you have seen butter boards out there? And although everything's better with butter, and there's actually information now that says having butter in your diet and having that saturated fat isn't all that bad, I'm going to just make it that much better because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put lots of fiber into your diet. So I'm going to get noisy today. You might need to plug your ears while I've got my Vitamixer going, but what I've got in here is a little bit of oil and a little bit of water. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a can of beans. So I've got just white beans here. White beans would be nice because I think they're lighter, so to speak, spring. I mean, could you use red kidney beans? You totally could, but probably wouldn't speak spring so much. All right. You love butter. I do too. Anyway, so I've got my beans, I've drained them, and I've got them in our strainer that is collapsible. So if you are really short for space in your kitchen, you're going to want to grab this. And I do want to let you know, there are a lot of our cookware items are on sale right now. We've got a 20% off sale, but that is only till the end of the month. So if you need that link, I'll try to drop it in below here. So anyway, rinsed beans, we're gonna just drop that in. Okay, and when I was showing you collapsible, check this out. Takes no room in your kitchen anymore. All right, so we've got the beans in here. Now beans don't have a lot of flavor, so if we're gonna do a pesto board, we probably need to put pesto in it. So this is our pesto mix. And basil, you probably don't have fresh basil kicking around your kitchen, but you can always have our pesto on hand. So I'm going to use our 4-in-1 spoon. I'm going to use the tablespoon end at this end, and I'm literally going to put this in there. Make sure I have about a tablespoon in there, and I'm just going to drop it in to my beans. The other thing that I'm going to do is add a little bit of water, because we need some extra liquid because that's a dry mix. I do want to amp up garlic, and you know, if you watch my cooking classes, this is probably my favorite ingredient. This is our roasted garlic aioli, but I do love it. So I'm going to grab my 4-in-1 spoon again. I'm going to flip it over. This is really intense. So actually it says the equivalent of this, about a half a teaspoon, is equivalent to like probably, I don't know, 2 garlic cloves, because it is really smooth and yummy. So I'm just gonna put a 1/4 teaspoon in that. I don't know if you noticed, but I flipped that around on the back side. Okay, and the other seasoning that I'm going to put in my product today, because I want to make sure that I enhance a little bit of zip. This is SPG. This stands for salt, pepper, garlic. And it really does need a little bit of seasoning here. So I'm gonna fill to half a teaspoon of SPG. And the last thing that I'm going to do is put some guacamole in here. Okay, and I'm gonna put a whole tablespoon of that as well. All right, so now we're gonna get ready for that crazy Vitamixer. So noisy, 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 and I'll give you some fun food facts while this is, while I'm grinding it up a bit. Okay, so fun food facts on butter boards. Butter boards were actually created, can you guys hear me okay? Can you see? Basically done. You probably couldn't hear me. Anyway, butter boards actually go back to 2017. And actually the chef that created it, his name was Chef Josh McFadden. He was this dude from Wisconsin. He grew up in Wisconsin, but he actually took his training in Portland, Oregon. That's a real hotbed for foodie territory. So if you ever get over that direction, you're going to want to check out all the foodie places. Anyway, he created a butter board, and he's sort of been given the claim to fame on butter boards, and that is because it's the first time that they have actually seen butter board in a cookbook. So if you're looking to figure out what cookbook that's in, that cookbook belongs to, or is called 6 Seasons. And if he can come up with butter boards, I'm thinking he probably has a lot of other really good recipes as well. So I'm just scooping out my beans. Let me just show you what that looks like. You can see it's nice and smooth. Of course, make sure you taste it. Oh, yum. Yeah, love it. Okay, so we've got that set aside. Now I'm going to use my Vitamixer again, but this time I want to put some color in it. And I had mentioned earlier that spring to me is green, so the asparagus, green peas, and these are frozen, but I just set them out on the counter and let them get unthawed. If you have to, throw them in the microwave if you want. Now, normally Pesto has pine nuts. Pine nuts are really expensive, and you know, with the cost of everything, I thought I'm gonna find a way to actually really cut down on that. So I've just got some walnuts in here. So you can toast them if you want to get some extra flavor. Another thing is Pesto always has Parmesan cheese. So this is freshly grated Parmesan cheese. And if you're wondering, the recipe will go up to my website, jmflavors.com. These are our prep bowls. These are 1 cup prep bowls. And this is one of the items that's on sale in the cookware sale. I've used these. You've probably seen me use them how many times already? Well, 2 for sure. Hang on, 3. This is arugula. I love it because, again, it's green, it's spring, it's fresh, and it's got that peppery feel to it. Now we're going to want to put some pesto in here because we've already got the start of that. So again, we're going to go inside here with our 1 tablespoon, and we're going to add a squeeze of lemon. So this is our citrus press, and I'm just going to squeeze some fresh lemon in here. I love this citrus press because literally it squeezes it like flat like a pancake, so you're getting lots and lots of flavor. And I think this is on sale as well. Seriously, think of other friends, because it's a great time to be doing shopping for friends and family. And again, because I want to get some flavor in here, I'm just going to add a little bit, about a half a teaspoon of SPG. And I want to zip it up a bit. So you can put real chilies on here. You could do red peppers, roasted red peppers would be fabulous. But I have some, what is this? Chili flakes with garlic. I'm gonna throw a whole teaspoon in there. I like to zip things up, and of course, as I mentioned, beans don't have, they're quite mellow. So I think you're going to want to have some extra flavor here. And now I'm simply going to get this processed as well. So again, plug your ears. Here we go. And notice I didn't have to wash that. Okay, now because this is thicker, what you're going to have to do is make sure that you go down the sides of your processor, whatever. Make sure you're getting the ingredients down. I can see that my mix is quite dry, so I'm just going to quickly grab some water here. And of course, it really depends on what your peas are like. So measurement wise, I don't know, I maybe added a couple tablespoons, and we'll just finish this off. Okay, so while that's working, we need to start preparing our dish. Such a noisy little contraption. Okay, so most times butterboards are put on wood. I'm not a big fan of that. I actually like the fact that this could be clean. So I'm just grabbing a flat plate. And what you're going to do is you can use our utensil set, and you're going to want to just sort of scoop this on. Now, think about what this is going to look like. What are you going to use to dip in your garden pesto mix? And I thought what I would do is I would actually put in I have some fresh peas that I'm going to set on the side, but I also decided I was going to have some sourdough bread. My neighbor gave me some, so I cut them into really fine little pieces, and I melted a little bit of butter, so this is where my butter is coming in, and I mix this with our herb and garlic. This is one of our top sellers, so if you've not tried this, you really must. So knowing that I'm putting those on, what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to just sort of scoop little bundles onto my board. You don't need to use all of this because you can, I know there's just 2 of us here. I can keep some for another visit. And then what you can do is take the back side of your spoon, and you're just going to make little mounds and little dips and crevices. And what we're going to do is we're then going to put our green pesto in here as well. Okay, so we basically got that done. Okay, so we're going to grab our pesto. Let me see if it's ground enough. No, I'm going to let's throw a little bit of oil in here. Okay, one more second. While I'm thinking about it, I'm going to grab my asparagus as well, because I have a habit of out of sight, out of mind. So here's my asparagus cooked up. So we're going to grab my pesto. And we're just going to start scooping this onto here as well. Now, if you want, you can marble it, so you can actually mix it with your beans. Or you can, as I'm doing here, just sort of flatten it down. You'll notice it's not really greasy like pesto. I didn't want it greasy. I'm going to drizzle a little bit of really good olive oil on top. Okay. And then we're going to put a whole bunch of condiments on top here. Okay, so that's basically how I want my butter board. Just put a little bit more green on here. Oops. Should use that other spoon. Okay, perfect. All right, so now what's going to happen next is we are going to maybe put on some of our extra little things that I've got kicking on the side here. So I'm just going to cut up my asparagus. We can sprinkle these little bit of the stems on first. Now, in my fridge, I've got a couple things that I thought would really look great. Okay, of course I have arugula from before. So if you just want to make sure these are cleaned, and you can just sprinkle them on roughly, spread them out. Then pea shoots. Remember I told you I love spring because of peas. So if you can find pea shoots, they're totally worth the money. I love it, but just maybe drape these on top. Now you can see it's very green. So put some more of my asparagus on here. Is it looking good so far? Can you see what that's looking like? Now I might want a little bit of color, and I noticed on my little tomato plant, I had 2 tomatoes that were coming along just fine. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of tomato on here. I'm using our ceramic knife. Again, this is another item that I believe is on sale on our flyer. And you can either put walnuts. I had a little bit of cashews, so just maybe sprinkle some nuts on here, because of course, if you ever see a cheese board or butter board, you always see them putting nuts on it. Again, much healthier than maybe having cheese. Now we're gonna grab our peas. And you can use anything, but veggie-wise, like I said, I have these peas kicking in my fridge, so I thought I better use them up. And like I said, my sourdough bread, you can maybe just set some of these around. And last but not least, because I love the flavor of SPG, I'm literally going to just sprinkle a little bit on top. And if it sprinkles a little bit on your board, I don't know, it's just more authentic looking. And that can be the end of it. But if you're wanting to get some bacon on here, you could cook some bacon up. Or the last thing I want to do is I want to put on our better than bacon. Remember I talked at the beginning about this board is better than butter? Okay, because it's got more fiber in it. Better than bacon is actually a garden vegetable as well. It's made with beans. And you can literally just sprinkle some of this on top. And there you go. Here is your bean or garden pesto board. Doesn't that look great? What a great way to actually have an appetizer as a dip, to make it look a little bit more festive, a little bit more springy, and it's great for, I guess, Easter, when people are just popping in, or you might have a little gathering of your sorts. So guys, I hope you saw how easy it is to put a meal on the table or a little appy together, just using some basic stuff that you probably already have in your home. And if there's any products that you have seen me showcase today that you do not have in your kitchen, please make sure you go to my website. There is a sale on right now, 20% off a lot of our cookware items. That's only good till the end of March. And the new catalog, I will tell you, come back next Thursday. It will be my very first cooking class with the new catalog. So I super am excited to launch that. Thank you so much for coming into my cooking class today. I hope you enjoyed the class and you'll come back again. Take care, Tammy, Lisa, Irene, Bernice. Good to see you all. Bye for now.